In this episode of Lore Explore, we learn about Daedra and how their influence touches everyone on Tamriel. The Daedra are powerful ancestor spirits or immortal beings who reside in the plains of Oblivion. Daedra are sometimes referred to as demons, but this is misleading. All Daedra have a penchant for extremes and are therefore capable of tremendous acts of devastation, but their different spheres make them apply their power in different ways, and their infinite diversity makes speaking about them generally difficult. A Daedroth's physical form can be ruined, but it cannot be truly killed. The soul of a slain Daedroth returns to the void of Oblivion. Certain mages who learn about the existence of protonymic can banish the Daedra almost effortlessly. The incantation of the protonymic drains the vital force from the Daedra, forcing it to follow that force into Oblivion. There, one abides until the vital force is replenished. Daedric Princes are the most powerful of the Daedra, and thus most commonly worshipped as gods. Daedric Princes may assume a typically masculine or a typically feminine form, sometimes both. In all, there are 17 powerful princes known to mortals: Azura, Boethia, Clavicus Vile, Hermaeus Mora, Hircine, Jigalag, Malakath, Mehrunes Dagon, Mephala, Meridia, Molag Bal, Namira, Nocturnal, Periite, Sanguine, Sheogorath, and Vermina. Each Daedric Prince has a specific day for him/her to be summoned. For example, the Daedric Prince Namira accepts any summoning on 9th of 2nd Seed, while Sheogorath always accepts any summoning when the area is under a thunderstorm. Often, the people of Tamriel seek help from the Daedric Princes for their troubles. The princes usually agree to help in exchange for a service. The Daedric Princes seem to view Men and Mer as little more than minor amusements, occasionally applauding the actions of mortals when they exceed their expectations. They find that the ambitions and the passions of mortals entertaining and beyond their expectation. Thus, the Daedra court and seduce certain amusing specimens of the mortal races, especially the passionate and powerful. The Daedra do not know the mortal sense of good and evil, and usually have extremist tendencies, which is why Men and Mer fear them greatly. Although the beings are considered evil by most, they are widely worshipped in the realms of Tamriel. Elaborate shrines are created to honor the Daedra as gods. Non-Dunmeri peoples still revere certain Daedra like Azura. However, many non-Dunmeri merely have a respect for these Daedra, rather than worshipping them as such. Since the Oblivion crisis of 3E 433, the world largely, and probably justifiably, turned away from Daedra-worship, with the exception of those still revered by the Dunmer.
These guys are pretty cool. Look at this crazy photo of Mehrunes Dagon. We've been here before. Pretty impressive. The Daedric ruins in Morrowind are amazing. It's strange that we don't find Daedric ruins in Skyrim, and not sure about Oblivion. Alright, so Daedra. Are they good? Are they evil? Who knows? They are beyond mortal comprehension. It's hard to say. Okay, so it says the soul of a slain Daedroth returns to the plane of Oblivion. Sheogorath has his own plane of Oblivion, and Mehrunes Dagon has his own plane of Oblivion, and so on. One thought I had was, do we see the Daedric Prince ever visiting the mortal realm in Oblivion, Morrowind, and Skyrim? Do we ever see that happen? Apparently, yeah, of course. If you play in Oblivion, Mehrunes Dagon appears as a big four-armed devil in Oblivion, and then you have Meridia as a big ball of light in Skyrim. I remember that Daedric quest. Periite as a ghostly rat, Hermaeus Mora as a ball of tentacles, and more. Thanks so much, Spook, for that very interesting answer. Now, interesting thing about Daedra is you can actually summon them. You can actually summon Daedric creatures from the plains of Oblivion to the mortal world when you use conjuration spells, right? There's some sort of mind melding happening. You are in tune with the Daedric creature and it obeys whatever you ask it to do. That I thought was pretty interesting. What about Daedra and Morrowind? I wanted to touch base about that. So Daedra-worship was always part of the Dunmer culture and was thus comparatively common in Morrowind. Also in Morrowind you have good Daedra, Boethia, Azura, Mephala, who are on good terms with the tribal gods, and you have the rebel Daedra. All these guys, Molag Bal, Sheogorath, Mehrunes Dagon, who refuse to spare fealty to the tribal, and their worshippers are casted out. But you find shrines of Daedric ruins of the good Daedra as well as the bad Daedra in Morrowind, so they're still there. One more interesting point I wanted to think about is, why are there so many Daedric ruins in Morrowind, but we don't see them in Skyrim? This actually answers that, right? So after the Oblivion crisis, The world largely and probably justifiably turned away from Daedra-worship. That's totally understandable because Oblivion Crisis was pretty crazy. They're very mysterious creatures. They send you on all sorts of crazy quests, hilarious encounters with these Daedric Princes in all the 3 games. And I'm glad they are in this lore. It's very fascinating. Read about them. I just love it.